right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. Carol Ann is a master gardener, and she does this show every week, and it's on for a full hour, and your phone calls are an important part of it. So if you'd like to call in right now, the number is 622-9622. If you happen to be out of the area, and I do see a few numbers here on the streaming, the area code is 352, depending on where you are. Well, I guess it doesn't matter where you are. 352-622-9622. Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How you doing?
Real good, real good. Beautiful day out there.
Really beautiful.
Beautiful,
so
yeah.
The problem I'm running into right now is I've already gotten the answer to the question.
Right.
Because we asked you off the air.
Right.
So I'll ask you again on the air.
Right.
But it's a pretty necklace. Have you had that before?
Yeah. That's my Vietnam Vets necklace.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Nice. So. But anyway, so off the air we asked you, and you and Robin had this discussion, and so we kind of know the answer.
Right.
But we have, Patsy has a
poinsettia that's from last year.
That's not turning red.
Right. It's from last year. It's been in a pot since last Christmas.
Right.
Nice little plant.
And not
nice and healthy.
Red.
Not turning red because it wasn't getting enough darkness. Because they are day length sensitive.
But I mean, because
and the lighting, the lighting
probably.
With the mall coming through. Any lights? I'm not sure what the lighting is here at night.
It's probably probably lit. It's
at least probably until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And going through, I said, well, let me see what they actually say about forcing them. And it's moreover, you're forcing them, but you're starting that in October, is making sure that you've got darkness when it's dark out.
Isn't that amazing?
They say 13 to 16 hours or about 14 hours a day of darkness, and that's what we have or we work towards at this time of year, for about 8 weeks for them to color up, because that's all that is a coloring. It's a changing on that leaf structure to get them to turn red. The flower itself is the little teeny things up in the top. Mm-hmm. So it's just to get those bracts to color up, and it's that one probably may not color up for Christmas, and they'll hold that color for a long time.
Really?
It's just got to get them started.
So
early.
what do the stores do? Like at Lowe's, how do they sell red ones? Are they?
They're done, in the nurseries and things like that. It's set up. They're forced. They're in greenhouses in which they can cover them, or they have no light. So it's dark out when it's dark out.
So is it fair to say that's the natural? In other words, in a natural setting, completely natural, they would all turn red. They would all turn red,
so long as there isn't like a porch light, or if it's outside of a patio where you sit often at night with a light lit, or it's not in on a lanai where you sit and read and you've got a lamp there. All of that gets rid of that darkness.
Isn't it amazing how unnatural light, man-made light, actually affects nature?
Right. It still puts a brightness, and that brightness is what's for them that they won't change over. And the same kind of thing with your Christmas cactus. In the wintertime, I've had a few people, and here it is. We're just what are we? 2? Not even that. 10 days. 12 days. 12 days from Christmas.
Wow.
Wondering how to get their Christmas cactus to either bud or bloom or things like that. And right now it's too late. If they don't already have buds on them, you're not going to get them on there before Christmas. You may be able to force them into getting some bud, and it'll bloom later, and that's okay too. If you've got buds on it and the plant just isn't nice and full, sorry, there's not much you can do. You don't fertilize them now, because if you do, you're going to actually force those buds off. And it's wintertime. It's fall. Plants don't feed this time of year. And when they have flowers on them and you give it food, what the plant's going to try to do is grow. And if it tries to grow, it's going to push the flower buds off. So you still continue that with actually a little less water than what you may have done for them back in May, June, and July. Don't put them in a area right above like the warm air vent in the house, or the air conditioner, whichever you have running. You want them in a nice bright area, but not with those drafts blowing on them to dry them out quickly.
Right.
Poinsettias included on that.
It's amazing how just our artificial environment affects the different things around.
Oh, sure. Well, it's artificial for them.
It's like the turtles. In South Florida, when they hatch, you have to turn your lights off.
Right, because they're going to try to, they're looking for that natural moon.
We do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
See, we know that the poinsettia is native to Mexico, and Mexico being a warmer climate other than where there's elevation. I've traveled several times to Mexico, and I never noticed the poinsettia plant. Is it like up here? I mean, it just blooms towards Christmas time, and that's it, or is it more long down there, like almost all year? A red flower, or
no? It's again that day length sensitive. They're not going to color until those nights get long and the days are shorter, and that's the blooming time as well.
Oh, okay, but there's a leaf plant though, but it just takes towards winter when the days are short and red.
Correct. It's just a green plant the rest of the year. And some actually, if you look online, if you do a Google search on them, you will see some of the images where they're almost tree size. They're that large. I've even seen some here in Ocala that have gotten up over 8 feet. And a lot of times they're a little straggly on that, where it's just the top. Because if you prune them as they grow, you have more of a bush, more of a shrub like plant with more bracts.
The pink poinsettia. Mm-hmm. Was that by nature, or did man develop that?
It's been hybridized, but there may have been some that have as a freak of nature. What we call in the horticultural fields, what we call a sport, is an oddity. And if you take that oddity and continue to breed it, like creating a toy poodle, toy poodles are not supposed to be that small. We've done it, with crossbreeding, but taking the runt, taking the odd, and making that a good feature for the plant. So sometimes when you find a variegation in a plant that never was there before, that's been either bred in purposefully after it showed up accidentally. But some of the pink ones and things like that, I think some of those, and the white, and they may be some that are a natural tones. Now the blue and the purple that's sold at Walmart, no, that's not natural.
Right.
But
I was going to say, now the weathermen have been incredible so far. It's much warmer than normal and drier, and it looks like that's going to be the case throughout the winter.
Yeah, let's hope this starts to change, because I don't think we had a whole lot of rain last summer. That it almost seems like we're going into another one of those drought cycles where we're going to maybe dry for a couple of years, and I hope not. It's not something we need.
I know we're dry here as I dig around a little bit here and there in the backyard, and you get down a foot or so, and it's powdery.
Right. And so, just as a precaution, we spoke a little bit last week on watching for those things that, in areas where it could be a fire hazard, especially if you live near wooded areas or unmaintained areas, a lot behind you or anything, vines that'll be dying off, do a little, hygiene within the landscape of keeping some of that stuff cleaned up. You might even this year with a drier winter, if our cold fronts are not coming in with sufficient water, is making sure you are watering and prevent that stress that begins to cause some problems within your landscape.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you, and have a good day.
You too. Have a good day.
Thank you. The phone number to call in, if you would like to call Carol Ann, is 622-9622. And, of course, we talk about gardening and gardens.
Yes, we are.
So a question came to mind. I don't know if this is dumb or not. Remember in elementary school, you put celery in a glass and you put different colored water.
Food colors in it,
and then the leaves would turn different colors.
Yeah, and you do it with carnations, too. Yeah,
so could you do that with a... Stop! Where did that come from?
Probably at the quarter hour.
Yeah, I know, but there's usually music. All right, so could you do the same thing with the poinsettia? Put some red water in the pot?
Probably not.
No?
No.
Wouldn't work?
No.
Okay. All right, now we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Here's the music. All right, here's the music. And we'll be right back. Carol Ann will be on in another 45 minutes, so be Call in 622-9622. We will be right back. Robin, how do you like my design?
You're designing a box?
That's not a box. It's a doghouse.
Rough draft for your rough? Sounds like you need personal service.
I do?
Yes, to print the blueprints. See Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can print blueprints, notarize permit applications, print and mail out invoices, and even provide great-looking business cards.
Personal Service Center. That's the one on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, right?
Just look for the yellow signs. Your pedigree palace will be a reality in no time.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
Whether you're just starting out in your career or ready to make a change, being a commercial pilot is within your reach. The FAA has predicted that in the next few years, the number of planes in the sky will double, and that means a lot more jobs in aviation. Ocala Aviation has teamed up with an accredited university, enabling you to get a college degree in aviation while training to be a commercial pilot. And with options like financial aid, grants, and scholarships, it's never been a better time to get your new career in aviation started today. For more information, call me at Ocala Aviation, 352-861-7484.
You have that drip coming down from the corner of the room, but where did it start from?
Bone Dry Roofing can and will fix it right the first time using quality materials and will deal honestly and fairly with you, period. You can find Bone Dry Roofing on their website, bonedryroofingllc.com, and Facebook at Bone Dry Roofing LLC. Do it right before your roof needs a tarp to keep the elements out. Bone Dry Roofing stands behind the work to help make your home safe and secure, plus they have financing available. Remember, if you're not bone dry, then you're all wet.
18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Nice looking Tuesday morning. Carol Ann is brightening up our studios with her charming self. And the phone lines are open if you want to talk to Carol Ann. The number is 622-9622. And so can I throw in one more question about the holiday plants?
Yeah.
Is there, and this is not about caring for them, this is about transporting them.
Okay.
Is there a way to transport them that is better? Like, what do you just put them in a bag? What's the best way?
To take them to give them as a gift kind of thing or
whatever? You're going to bring poinsettia as a gift?
Right. Yeah, it would be to put them in a bag to where you can just slip it down, and then whoever you give it to, you might just tear the bag off instead of trying to lift it back out.
So you don't pull
break them, because they are somewhat fragile. That's why I try when they come into the stores is to actually leave them in their plastic sleeves.
Okay.
Or when a churches do orders, we leave them in those sleeves and let them, take them out once they get them, where they're going, because that way they'll transport better.
Okay.
They'll stand up in your car, you don't have to worry about it sticking, hanging down and getting broke.
We do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, guys. How are you guys?
Good.
Real good.
Okay, I have a question. You know those little orchid plants you buy like in Publix?
Uh-huh.
They got really long stems, and when you buy them, they bloom. Well,
right.
After the flowers died in my house, they never bloom again. Is that a trick to that thing?
Not really. Orchids aren't that tough. Normally, if you're buying them at this time of year, say you're giving it as a gift or whenever, and you're going to enjoy it in the house while it's got blooms on it, fantastic. Keep the humidity up. You're watering just pretty much the root area. I like to take them to the kitchen sink and use the sprayer thing to water them and rinse dust off. But orchids most of the year are very happy hanging up in a shade tree out in the garden, out in the landscape during the warmer months where it's high humidity, it's bright but not direct sunlight. The rainwater offers plenty of nutrition. They do normally bloom, as far as I know, most all of them really only bloom about once a year, but has a very extended bloom time that those flowers stay on and persist for an extended period of time. There are bloom boosting fertilizers out there on the market that mix with water. And you would just use, maybe keep one in one of your mister bottles, and occasionally, not every time you mist, but maybe once a week or so, whatever the instructions are going to be, you would substitute that water for just plain water. Using rainwater to irrigate them, to water them with, is going to offer a little more, a little more beneficial to them if you're going to keep them in the house. But most of the year, from say April on through till October, they can be outside, and so long as they're not in that full hot sun.
Yeah, we have them inside, and ever since it was gifts given to us, and they were bloomed. And every time I go to Publix, they're always blooming at the store.
Right.
And once ours died, the flowers, they had them come up again. They have them bloom again, but we have them inside the house.
Right. Well, the ones at Publix, when you keep seeing new ones, they just get new plants.
Right.
From from a supplier, and they're forced. Yeah, they're forced from a nursery, from a grower, into blooming so that they can be sold throughout the year. Keep the plant alive and healthy. They don't need to be transplanted real often. Their roots are real thick and kind of funky looking. They can come creeping in the pot. It's okay. Just kind of keep the plant healthy, and it should bloom again for you a little more in the proper time, which could be anywhere from summer through fall, and the flowers will stay on for an extended time.
So you recommend they leave it outside instead of inside the house with the air conditioner and the heat?
Right, but during this time of year, you need to keep it in the house because they don't like temperatures below 40 degrees.
Right, because of the temperature, yeah. But other than that, once spring hits, we put it outside and it should bloom.
Right, put it outside, and you can almost forget about it so long as it can get rainwater and that it's not going to sit and puddle inside that pot.
Right, yeah. My wife, the wife, she waters and she puts a pot of water, soaks it in there on the bottom, through the bottom of it for about 5 minutes, like the instructions said. And then she just puts it on the paper towel so it drains.
Okay,
and
yeah.
That's how she does it.
Yeah, that's a good way to do, and that's even a good way to do if you're going to do the fertilization too, because you can always put the fertilization into that water once a month or whatever the directions on the package says, and just swirl that around. They'll take up a little bit of that fertilizer. You'll drain it out, and between fertilizations, you'll be watering it with clear water, in between, so it doesn't get too much.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. The phone line is open if you'd like to call in. The number again is 622-9622. We've got another 37 minutes left in the show. Plenty of time.
And with orchids, when you find them in the stores, they are blooming. They do them. Well, you can get some that aren't. There's ones that'll come in, say, a clay pot or a decorative pot. The only reason we pot orchids is so that we can show them off. So they don't have to be in a pot necessarily. They're the Vandas that actually prefer to just have their roots exposed. It's really kind of cool looking, these long dangling roots. And when you can see those roots, you can see when they need to be watered. Also, now those probably need a little more. They need more of a daily misting to keep those roots moist. And you'll see that when a nice healthy root on an orchid is actually green. So that's how you know it's got enough water. It's nice and green. Okay. When it begins to get pale, you're going, ooh, look, I really need to water this. And, keep it out of the draft. Put them in a bright room this time of year. If you're going to hang it in front of a window, make sure there's something like a sheer in front, because any light that comes through that window is actually very intense. Gets intensified coming through the glass. So, as they've always said, make sure that there's a sheer curtain in front of there to help diffuse that. In the springtime throughout the summer, they can be outside again, just not in that full hot sun.
Any products that you could recommend as gifts for somebody who's a gardener, whether it's a liquid product or a tool?
Pruners always make nice gifts. If I'm going to buy somebody a pruner, I'm not going to buy the store brand one. Corona, Fiskars, those are good brands on a pruner, and not necessarily. To me, they're not that expensive. The Coronas might be, but they last. They're resharpenable.
So this is an example where you want brand names.
When you go with that brand name, because it's going to be a higher quality, and has a lot of times features that would be better than, say, just the average. Garden gloves are good choices. Again, sometimes, but with those, sometimes the inexpensive ones can be good. I mean, the pair of gloves I wear for work, I think I paid $4 for, and they've lasted me as compared to some of those guys end up wearing the cheap ones, but they wear the heavy leather ones. I want the ones that fit my hands almost like a second skin, and mine last longer than theirs do.
Really?
And we're picking up the same stuff.
Do you know I have a love-hate relationship with my bougainvillea, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so because it's winter, I haven't really, or it's cool, it's not really winter yet, but I haven't really been trimming it. So lately, the red little flowers are so beautiful, they're coming out there. But they never come out when it's trimmed. They only come out when it's scraggly.
Well, because they really do. The prettiest bougainvilleas I've ever seen are the ones that are left to do their own thing.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a gorgeous one over on 27th Avenue. I want to say it's near 4th.
But the homeowner association
and it's
always
in a
it's gets down on my back.
Right, because it's wild looking.
Your bushes need to be trimmed. Yeah.
And it's like it's to be its prettiest. No, it doesn't. Because they come on the end. All your flowers on your bougainvillea are on the ends of the plant. So it's
really
almost
pretty.
It's almost that in the springtime you cut it way back. Deal with the big thorns on them and cut it way back.
Thorns,
and maybe a little more selective pruning as it's growing. And we all know in the summertime they don't seem to bloom too much because we get too much rain. Maybe a little bloom booster fertilizer might help for yours.
So far, it's been pretty mild. This is not unusual, though, right? This is. I mean,
it's December.
Right?
Yeah, it's December. Our worst months for cold are January and February ugly.
Yeah.
I don't even call February anymore. It's February ugly because it's one of our nastiest times a year for weather. It's usually rainy and cold. I mean, nasty cold to where all you want to do is sit curled up with a cup of hot beverage and a blanket and a book, and skip the outside world. But December, and so people don't prune things, don't fertilize things. It might be warm, but it is still the fall and winter months. If you fertilize or prune, if you look at your calendar and you count 6 weeks from today, you're looking at the end of January for new growth to possibly be pushing out. And what happens when new growth is pushing out and we drop down below 32 degrees, it kills all that new growth, setting your plants back 6 weeks. Possibly further damaging depending on how sensitive to cold they are. Let that dead stuff, let that be there. It's insulating the plant. Realize it's not going to get any prettier, any bigger, any better if you put nitrogen on it right now. It's just going to force some growth, or it's going to try to force unnatural growth during a time of year that plants are not supposed to grow.
Now, if somebody was to give a fruit tree as a gift for Christmas, is it a bad time because it's the winter? I mean,
pretty much any plant that's grown in a container could be put in the ground at any time. Your peaches and pears and things like that, come this time of year, are almost naked of leaves. So they should be setting kind of dormant right now. So, you can put them in the ground. Just keep them watered and get them established. Come springtime, you should get nice new growth out of them. Citrus, in the ground, and again, smaller trees protect them from the excessive cold. Excessive cold meaning below 28 degrees for any length of time.
We've got a break coming up. Let's take that break. We've got another half hour with Carol Ann Baldwin. In the Garden with Carol Ann continues after the break. If you'd like to be on the show and ask a question or just call in to say hi, you're welcome to do that as well. The number is 352-622-9622. We will be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. President-elect Trump taps the CEO of ExxonMobil as his choice for Secretary of State.
There is no one more prepared than Rex Tillerson to become the next Secretary of State. That coming from the president-elect in his statement officially announcing this election just a little while ago earlier this morning.
Blake Berman with the Fox Business Network reporting that some lawmakers are concerned about the choice.
Tillerson had cultivated a friendship with Russia and Vladimir Putin. That could very well lead to a contentious Senate confirmation, but the incoming White House Chief of Staff, Reince Priebus, is downplaying those connections.
Having relationships with people is not a bad thing.
Fox News confirming that former Texas Governor Rick Perry, meanwhile, has been picked for Energy Secretary. And the Russian president says he's prepared to meet with President-elect Trump at any time when asked about a meeting by journalists. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Okay, so everyone makes a holiday wish list this time of year, and usually these lists are filled with all kinds of the latest gadgets, games, and the hottest new gotta-have-it gifts. But is it possible to give a gift that might not be on their list? The answer is yes, and I'm here to tell you what it is. I'm David McNeil, inventor of WeatherTech floor liners. You see, at WeatherTech, we start by using lasers to measure a vehicle's interior, so each floor liner is custom fit to each specific make and model. So whatever you drive, your car's floor will be fully protected up the front, in the back, and even up the sides. And the best part is they are made right here in America. WeatherTech also has a full line of premium automotive accessories that make ideal gifts for everyone this season. Ordering is easy. Shop online at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. From all of us at WeatherTech, happy holidays.
Ad Council.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
We are more motivated to walk when we're at an interesting destination. Boy, I agree with this, whether it's a park, down Main Street, or even at the mall. The people we sit next to at work, we now know they can have a huge impact on our performance. Our mucous membranes dry out on planes. We lose some of the food's aroma, but breathing more deeply as we eat on the plane will make a bland meal taste a whole lot better.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
Now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
A young woman contemplating having an abortion is told by society that whether she has her baby or not, it is her choice. House of One and Faith in Ocala wants to give that young woman a place to live in comfort during her trying time, to help her know that God's love is abundant and that He is not ashamed of her in any way. The House of One and Faith is free and confidential. For more information, call 352-687-8895.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
WOCA is teaming up with Florida Kids Helping Kids to bring a little Christmas joy to the many homeless children in Marion County. WOCA to offer our location as a drop-off point for your new and usable toys at the WOCA studios here in the Paddock Mall. Mornings, Monday through Friday till December 16th, when Florida Kids Helping Kids will come by to pick up the toys to give to the children. Florida Kids Helping Kids and WOCA, making Christmas a little brighter.
Merry Christmas!
Jean Powell, Pasture Mowing. Jean and Debbie would like to thank you for another successful year of business. We want to wish everybody a safe, healthy, and prosperous 2017. We are ready to be of service for pasture mowing. 352-629-2440. Locally owned and operated. Experienced and reliable. Commercial and residential. Licensed and insured. Powell Jean, Gene, at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Jean Powell, Pasture Mowing. 352-629-2440. Proud United States veteran.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock, 64 degrees. And let's return to Carol Ann Baldwin in the garden with Carol Ann. If you'd like to be on the show, the number is 622-9622. The area code is 352.
And yesterday, just thinking of holiday plants and gift giving and things like that. And somebody the other day, this was just something that and I just remembered it just now, came in asking, would a certain plant live in Texas? And I said, yeah, probably would. I mean, that plant lived up into the Carolinas, so I would figure that it would do all right in Texas as well. Right. I said, but, your best bet might be to, check on the websites over there. But they were also then asked the question, could they send one to someone? Uh-huh. And I went, no, probably not. Because of USDA regulations for inspections and things like that. And you'd want the plant to show up in one piece. And even if you were that we all know that shipping things, you'd have to ship it overnight, or at the maximum like a 2 or 3 day shipping, and that just starts to get pricey when you're shipping dirt and plant material. And so my suggestion to them was go on that chain store's website.
Okay.
And look up a store in their city.
That's a good idea.
And find the phone number. I mean, you can look, and don't count on the online availabilities, especially when it comes to gardens, on when it says to stores, because really that stuff I don't think is real accurate. It might be available,
right?
But it might be available to a whole market. It's not necessarily you're going to find it in that store on that day. But to call the store in which the city in which your friend or family member is at, where you want to give that gift, and find out if that plant is available that time of year.
And
that way you could order it, you could pay for it, boom,
and then they
would just pull it, and they could just come by and pick it up.
Oh wow, that's a great idea.
It would just be a pickup later, and they could just come in. The plant would be held for them. Now, when it's a pickup later like that, you're not selecting the exact one, and neither are they. So you might even just do it send them a gift card. And say, listen, I wanted to get you one of these because I think they're so pretty and that you would like one of those. Yeah. I found out it will grow within your area.
The gift card is so... Yeah. I like the gift better
than
the
gift better, but sometimes when you're buying the plant, or it's the kind of thing of going, I would like to pick my plant out instead of, because if a call comes in, we have an internet order for these 3 plants.
Right.
Whomever's filling that order is going to walk over to that table, and they're going to grab 3 plants, and they're going to throw them on that cart, and they're going to send them up to the front. Here's your internet order. They're not necessarily going to select the 3, how you would pick through and go, oh, I like this one. That one's a little lopsided. I think I take this one, and such like that. So, but that's just a thought. They're realizing that, no, you're not going to ship plants across the country, etc. I wouldn't even suggest traveling with plants, because a lot of going across state lines or crossing certain regions, they will make you destroy. They will confiscate that plant and destroy it because of the whole thing of having an agricultural permit to carry plant material across state lines.
So do they have that already in place and set up, like Lowe's, for example? Could I call the Lowe's in Houston and say, hey,
I would see, that's what I would do, is I would call them. Do you have this plant in stock at this time of year? Because certain you figure garden centers up north are closed this time of year. They're covered in snow. You're not planting anything right now. But here in the South, ours are still open. Some of them may be limited open in certain areas.
That. So I could call, for example, your Lowe's, the Lowe's down in Lady Lake, somebody from Michigan say, oh, I want to buy Carol Ann a flower or a plant. She happens to work in that Lowe's.
Right. And I want to order, and they may tell you, go ahead online to the website, and you would just put it in, and
then you would say, let me pick my own out.
Right. That it's okay. I see it. May I go select? May I select my own?
Do you have a plant on your wish list? Do you wish you
have? Not necessarily. No. I mean, I when I see something different or something like that, I try to wait till. That's about the only time I'll wait till they'll go distressed, if it's an expensive one.
What do you call it? Propagate, when you take a leaf and you plant it?
But I don't pinch and
you don't
them
ever?
Up. No,
ever?
No. I mean, I've taken where the pieces on Christmas cactus have fallen off.
Right.
Why sweep it up and throw it in the garbage? I'll take that one home.
Like a lot of these subdivisions, they have their front all nice and pretty with flowers.
Right.
So I would imagine sometimes people say, hey, let me just
And was something, and that's not nice to do. And that's,
No,
I
of
mean,
course
and then
not.
too, you go into botanical gardens and people will be doing that too. and
Oh,
if you
no.
continue to do
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you start to lose or you start to really damage plants. So, never pick without permission.
I wonder how many people do that, though.
Oh, there's a bunch of people who will. And it really is, one here and one there, it doesn't make a lot. But if you get 300 people who think that same way, you're doing some damage, especially because it's going to be the same plants over and over again that are usually the ones that are selected for pinching on those kind of things.
We have something we have to do.
Oh.
We have a 2017 calendar.
Right.
It's the size of an old vinyl record album, so 12 by 12.
It's the regular wall calendars.
And it features photographs of manatees underwater. And
Well, you don't see them at Publix too often.
I think it sells for $10, I think.
I'm not sure.
I think we got it from the Save the Manatee Club, so
Right.
So we'd like to give that to you, and also a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery. And I guess all you have to do is call up and tell us how your Christmas plants are going. That's all.
There you go.
There's no real right or wrong answer. The number is 622-9622. I'm just curious if your poinsettias are turning red.
If you had one from last year or something. If you had one from last year, maybe the year before that you've kept in a container or planted outside, let us know.
Or the Christmas cactus, too.
Yeah,
which I didn't realize how pretty they can be.
Oh, they're gorgeous, yeah.
So if you want the calendar and the $20 gift certificate to Bob Wines, just call 622-9622. Be part of the show. You don't have to answer any questions. Just tell us how you're doing and how your plants are doing, and I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
That one over there,
the pepperoni.
I always talk about it because it's the only plant
It's so shiny. Yeah, it's so shiny.
It's the
and
only
pretty.
plant I have a relationship with.
It's a long-term relationship too. It has traveled with you from one location to another.
Well, it's only potted plant I have a relationship with. I have a relationship with
your bougainvillea.
My bougainvillea,
the sago palms.
Yeah. To a lesser extent, that orange tree, which I don't know if that's on my order or the other guys.
It's the community orange tree, the neighborhood orange tree.
And my banana plants.
Right.
It's just cool. And no bananas this year.
No. And I saw something. I don't know if I mentioned this the other week. Somebody in my neighborhood, they've a newly planted banana. It's been in a few months, and they've also planted some cactus on the front of the house. And these folks are from up north. They're from Pennsylvania, but the neat way of covering these things was they set up the Easy Up canopy. One of those that you would take on your picnic or things like that, or take camping. It's got a top to it, and generally open sides. Well, those open sides you can always take and clip your visqueen around that, creating a little hothouse.
Okay.
Around that, and it goes all the way to the ground. You could take all your potted plants and things like that, tuck them up underneath there. But here he's protecting, and it's tall enough to go over
just go
a tree.
And it probably
and
smells. Smells like I don't want it to smell in a bad way. I mean, it probably has the scent
of whatever's
like a greenhouse, right?
Whatever if you're tucking all those in there, but you can also open it up and take it down while it's nice out.
Like you said, you have the scent of the Christmas trees in the Christmas tree tent.
Inside the Christmas tree tent. But that's there's another way of you don't have a way, you don't have enough room in the house. You don't want to cover up. Or you've got some dwarf bananas, some young fruit trees or something like that you want to protect these first couple years from cold. They're smaller trees. You got one of those Easy Up canopy kind of things, or you could even use the beach umbrella, poke it down in the ground, or if you have a base and that umbrella, and that way you can drape your frost cloths and things like that down over it and get them all the way to the ground, causing creating your little protective warm area. And then if you feel you need to put a like 100-watt bulb in there that'll actually warm things, you can do that.
Wow, we were up to the 15-minute point. If you want to call in, you're welcome to do that. The number is 622-9622. And nobody called in for the gift certificate or the calendar. If you would like it, you just have to call me and tell me you would like both things, and it'll be yours waiting for you right here at the station. We'll take your call during the break for that. After the break, if you'd like to speak to Carol Ann on the air about your plants, we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Tuesday, areas of low clouds and dense fog giving way to some sunshine. It'll be unseasonably warm with a high of 80 to 84. And partly cloudy and mild Tuesday night with some fog around late tonight into Wednesday morning. Tuesday night's low between 58 and 63. Later Wednesday, some sunshine and warm, high 77 to 81. Thursday, intervals of clouds and sunshine and cooler with a high of 70 to 74. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Experience Christmas at Gaylord Palms, presented by Fujifilm Instax, November 18th through January 1st. Enjoy spectacular holiday decor, dining, and entertainment, including ice, with an all-new theme featuring a Charlie Brown Christmas, Cirque Dreams Unwrapped Stage Show, breakfast with Charlie Brown and Friends, Alpine Rush snow tubing, and much more. It's everything Christmas in one extraordinary place. Tickets and overnight packages, including priority extra cool hour admission to ice, are on sale now at Christmas@GaylordPalms.com.
Christmas time is here, and this holiday season, Gaylord Palms puts a brand new twist on a Christmas classic. It's Ice, presented by Pepsi, featuring a Charlie Brown Christmas by Charles Schulz, November 18th through January 1st. See the whole Peanuts gang carved in over 2 million pounds of colorful ice, including Snoopy's decorated doghouse, and dancing at the holiday play rehearsal. Your awe-inspiring experience concludes with the wonder of the nativity in ice. For tickets and packages, visit Christmas@GaylordPalms.com.
Hi everybody, this is Tish, and I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hopefully you'll spend time with family and friends and make this the best Christmas ever. Remember the reason for the season. Merry Christmas.
'Tis the season to be giving.
And at WOCA The Source, we have teamed up with Florida Kids Helping Kids
To make sure homeless children in Marion County have a great Christmas.
And you can help.
Yes, WOCA at the Paddock Mall is a drop-off site. Bring new or gently used dolls, skateboards, jewelry sets,
Footballs, basketballs, musical instruments,
and anything else a child would like.
Share your blessing.
Children will be able to choose a gift for another child.
And Florida Kids Helping Kids will wrap the gift.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from all of us here at WOCA The Source.
When you go into Automax, Marion County's #1 pre-owned dealer for over 15 years, you won't take the new car depreciation because Automax saves you thousands on late model vehicles. Browse the inventory online at automaxocala.com. Then come down to see the great vehicles and upfront pricing in person. Compare up to 60 models inside the climate control showroom. So take your time. No high pressure, no gimmicks, no games. On the corner of 17th and Easy Street. Automax. Quality cars, outlet prices.
The most trusted name in news, Fox News, every half hour, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you. Let's see, Ken called in and asked for the calendar and the gift certificate, so they will go to him. We'll be back right now with Carol Ann Baldwin talking about your gardens.
Yeah,
and your plants.
And all that fun stuff. And here's something, and this might even be a gift for someone if you've got a new friend or family member who's new to Florida, or just maybe your spouse or whomever. It's Florida Gardening 101. It's the 2017 classes, I guess you'd call it. It's for those new to gardening or just new to gardening in Central Florida. The class will teach the basics to help you be successful at growing just about every kind of plant. It's a 5-day set of classes. They're in the evenings. Where's my time? Yeah, from 6 to 8:30 at night, January 30th through February the 3rd. There is a registration fee of $35 per person or $50 per couple, and it is non-refundable, but it covers the materials and light snacks. This year it's covering it starts on Monday, runs Monday through Friday, and it usually has 2 sessions each night. Organic gardening and gardening basics, caring for your Florida lawn, beautiful but invasive, plant propagation, annuals and perennials, pruning trees and shrubs, palms, and vegetable varieties for Marion County, and insects and diseases of vegetables. So, you've got a five-night, pretty intense course on stuff. Yeah. And I mean, lighthearted things like that too. Made into something that you can understand. It's not necessarily college. It's something you'll be able to take this information that you learn and use it in your landscape, and to maybe even help your friend. You can call over to the extension office office, which is 671-8400. The registration deadline is the 18th of January. So if you wanted to do it as a gift, even you could, and and just make up your own gift certificate or something like that for someone. Or if you've ever registered on anything on Eventbrite, that's online, that you can do that right online, and you can do your credit card with that. So, and these are all held over at the County Extension Auditorium, which is at 2232 Northeast Jacksonville Road here in Ocala. And that might be a neat gift for somebody who's maybe newly retired and has always wanted to get into their landscape more, or just someone new to the area, family member, friend. If you're listening out of the area and you know somebody in Ocala who you'd like to do something like that for, you could either call, like I said, 352-671-8400, or go on to Eventbrite by the 18th of January, and I'll mention it again as as we get closer. Keep it in your head and your thoughts on that, and just kind of an introduction there on Florida Gardening 101.
It's an odd phenomenon for me, December, because the 18th of January seems so far away when you're in December and you're before Christmas.
Right, and you're saying, January 2017, it's the next, we're just a month away. And,
I mean, November 17th to December 17th doesn't seem that far away. But for some reason,
December to go to
13th.
January.
December 13th to January 18th seems like a long time away, but it's not really.
But it's not, and once Christmas gets here, the year's over.
Just about.
It's oh my gosh, we got Christmas, and next weekend is New Year's.
All the stress people feel before Christmas.
Right,
just
it
disappears
just goes
after
away.
Christmas. What was I so worried about?
Right, we made it through.
Why was I so
Everything's
stressed out?
Why worry about it? Everybody, we'll just have a good time. What you can do is what you can do. Don't try to impress anybody.
I have a really dumb question to ask you.
Okay.
I think this is really dumb.
Okay, only if I give you a dumb answer.
Okay, well, listen, I watched this video about these two dogs.
Okay.
I love dog videos.
Yeah.
And they were not in the house when Grandma arrived.
Okay.
And just to pull a prank on the dogs, Grandma went upstairs and laid in the bed. And now they bring the dogs in. And the two dogs are sniffing the air. They know she's there.
Right.
They're looking for her. They can't find her. And then they go upstairs and they find her in the bed. And she's giggling because they're jumping on the bed. They're bigger than her, it looks like. All right. So could you do the same thing with a plant? I mean, could you bring a plant that the dogs love? I mean, does this even make sense?
Not for a dog.
No?
But, I mean, you might be able...
Because we had this story this morning about how the monkey or something at the zoo likes the movie Jungle Book.
Well, but I mean that's a movie. But I mean you couldn't set the video, the CD box on
the
it.
Tree is back.
And,
the tree is back.
I think a lot of times the dogs initially, or even cats, might even be initially afraid of it.
A cat, maybe, yeah.
Or even the dog. That there's suddenly something in here that if I were outside, I'd be allowed to pee on that. and they keep yelling at me when I get my nose too close. So it might actually be a little bit of a negative on that, on a live tree, even an artificial tree, because the artificial tree is not going to smell like anything.
It's funny.
Except maybe it may smell like family, which could be, a nicer scent. I know we had
it's amazing,
years ago we had a couple of dogs and they wouldn't go in the doghouse. They would not use that doghouse till finally I had bought a new mattress cover for my bed, for our bed, and I took the old one and I put it in the doghouse. They went right in there. Why? It smelled like us. And then they would use
smart.
That was pretty smart. Finally, you could throw, if it was, and after that, hey, they were good with going and laying in the doghouse and finding that, here was a safe place for them.
That is very smart.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yep.
Now I will. I don't think I'll get another dog though. So.
Right. And that and my dog right now, we gave him a sleeping bag on some of the cold nights, which we put it away the other times because he has a tendency to like to tear apart his bed. But if it's one side is like nylon and the other side is fuzzy, well, if you put the fuzzy side up, he's going to try to tear it up. But if you put the nylon side up, he doesn't.
Huh.
So I don't know what
funny,
it is
huh?
about it.
Oh,
So,
good
but
fun.
you learn a little bit about your pets. Oh, and one thing I will say, had people come in and say, well, I would put a poinsettia in the house, but I have a cat. And so, yes, so
Yeah,
poinsettias aren't poisonous. Even if you were to consume a lot. They said, that poinsettias are not really, they're not edible, but they're not going to kill you. If you're, watch, you don't feed them to them, put them up out of reach, but it's not a reason that if the animal went by and took a nibble off it, it's not gonna be detrimental. Where poinsettias have a problem, it's the same thing with any plant that has a white milky sap. That is a latex-like sap, and those who are sensitive to latex have latex allergies. Then you've got a problem. Or even, I've even had some little bit of sensitivity when you work with a lot of it and it gets on you. You're going to need to wash it off. May need a little bit of calamine or a little cortisone cream just because you might have a little bit of an itchy area.
Right. Yeah. Gotta be careful.
It's not something, you're not going to feed it to your pets, but you can still have one in the house. Mistletoe, on the other hand, is very poisonous. Every bit of it is. So,
plus, you might end up falling in love.
Yeah, you could fall in love or kiss somebody that you didn't mean to, or somebody come by and kiss you. Just watch out. Yeah, just swapping germs like that. But that kind of thing. If you're going to hang that up, make sure that it's not somewhere where it's going to fall down. Because animals are, I know my dog would eat. If it hit the floor, he's going to try it, or he's going to chew on it and look at me, going, "I got something I'm not supposed to have," until I reach in his mouth and take it away.
Oh no!
Does it to me daily.
Oh no! So are you staying home for the holiday? I know.
Yeah,
you'll be here
just
next
have
week,
family.
so.
Yeah, just have all our families right here. So we'll be. I probably have to work Monday.
What is the food tradition for Christmas in your family?
It's always been. My father had started it. Was the beast. You had beef, either roast beef or something like that. But I don't know.
Why do you refer to it as the beast?
Well, that my father said that for the Christmas was a feast. So for the feast you have
You have the beast, the fatted calf.
Yeah, kind of thing.
Kill the fatted calf.
So it was, Thanksgiving was turkey, Easter was ham, and Christmas was beef.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, at least in our house it was. So, but I think last year I did like surf and turf, did steaks and
fish,
like shrimp cocktail and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, might be the same kind of thing. Being we generally have nice enough weather to be outside for Christmas in the afternoon to grill.
Speaking of which, I was looking at the weather, and they were predicting on the Weather Channel where the white Christmases will be.
Okay.
And of course, it's not here.
No, if it is, we're in trouble.
But there's a large part of this country that, if they're right, there will be a lot of areas that have a white Christmas.
That have a white
year.
Christmas. Wow,
Yeah.
that's well. I know they're getting hit with some weather up in the north. Not necessarily the Northeast. I guess some of it way
Some
up
of the
in
Northeast,
there,
yeah.
way up in that
And not
further
your
north,
area,
yeah.
not where you're from, but
No.
north of that.
You're right.
And
right.
not even where I'm from. It's upstate New York.
Upstate, and all up into get over towards the Great Lakes and things like
But where
that.
Robin is from, yes,
yeah.
They definitely are getting more snow even today.
Then
so. Wow.
Good, lucky for them. We just don't have to shovel this sunshine, or even when we get liquid sunshine.
You can't even imagine it. It's so nice outside right now.
Oh, I know. It's gorgeous.
This is why people come here this time of year.
Exactly. Even when we may be miserable when that temperature drops, but that's because we're here all the time, and those 40 degrees, especially, it's cold to us.
Yeah.
And
it was cold during the parade. I felt cold.
That was
Not
a
real
cold,
but the wind was
kind of bites through you.
Contributing to it as well.
Bites through you. Well, everybody have a beautiful week, wonderful week. Get your Christmas shopping done. Don't stress. Don't stress over the holidays.
The one thing I think that I pick up from what you talk about is that gardening is relaxing.
It is. It's very therapeutic.
And if it's not, then you're doing something wrong.
Then you're not. Yeah, you're not doing it right. You're forcing it. Pulling weeds is very therapeutic. I enjoy pulling weeds and all that stuff. So, make it the best.
Get a pair of gloves.
There you go.
Because if you pull weeds near a bougainvillea, you're going to get cut.
You're going to get hurt. Yeah.
You're going to bleed. All right. Thank you, Carol Ann.
Thanks, Larry.
We will be right back in just a bit. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.